And a very good afternoon and welcome to the 20th of July 2021. The time is exactly 18 minutes past 1500 hours. And I welcome you all as you're joining the live broadcast from wherever you're watching us. Mo kí gbogbo yín níbikíbi tí ẹ ti láǹfààní àti máa gbọ́ wa tí ẹ ti ń wò wá. A kí yín fún gbogbo in tí olúkálùkù wa ti ń gbọ́ lọ́tùn lósì. A máa ṣàlàyé díẹ̀ fúnra wa nínú broadcast tí a fi ṣe ní wákàtí. Orúkọ tèmi ni Ọláyọmí Kóìkì tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ sí Kóìkì Media. Mo tún jẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí agbẹnusọ fún bàbá wa Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Igboho tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ sí Igboho Òòṣà. 20th Tuesday time exactly 19 minutes past. Let's play the anthem and I'll be giving a little bit of update. I'm sure a lot of us have been waiting, whether good or bad. We must remain absolute resilient in the midst of everything that has happened. It is not the time for us to be weighed down. It is also the time for us to know that the country called Nigeria wanted to assassinate Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Igboho on the 1st of July 2021. Likewise, that was not the first attempt. So many attempts has been made on his life. But we give thanks for the life. A dúpẹ́ fún ẹ̀mí tó ṣì wà. Ẹ̀mí tó bá dẹ̀ ṣì wà, òun náà ló máa parí Yorùbá nation tí a gbé dání. Iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wa, orílẹ̀-èdè wa, ká gbéga, ká gbéga, ká gbéga fálérí. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé láti bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́. Ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá. Ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ni ẹ jẹ́ ká máa lépa. Tẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde, bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo wa níbikíbi tí ẹ ti láǹfààní àti fẹ́ gbọ́ wa tí ẹ ti fẹ́ wò wá ní wákàtí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fọkàn wa balẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe kí ni ká fọkàn balẹ̀. Kò sí tó ń bọ̀ lókè tí kò ní wálẹ̀. Àmọ́ eléyìí tó ṣẹlẹ̀, àwa la máa jẹ àǹfààní ẹ̀. Lóòótọ́ gbogbo wa la ti gbọ́ ìròyìn tó ń lọ káàkiri. I will be speaking from the statement released by our father, the emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye. And I'm sure a lot of you must have read that statement. But it is also important that we release that statement officially and to give assurance to every sons and daughters of Yoruba across the world that this is not the time for us to get panic. This is not the time for us to relent. This is the time for us to stay strong and remain absolute strong. And also, this is the time that we must now, from every part of the world, and this is the message from Professor Banji Akintoye to start picketing to all the embassy, but most precisely the German embassy and the Benin embassy around the world. Aka statement tí bàbá wa Akintoye tí wọ́n gbé jáde láti àárọ̀. Lóòótọ́ ohun wà pé kó má ṣẹlẹ̀. Àmọ́ ohun Ọlọ́run bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. But it is not the end of it at all. I don't have to go into all the details. But what I can assure every sons and daughters of Yoruba this evening is that we must remain calm. We must remain calm and remain focused. Just as we have so many things in our hands. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa rántí pé 1st of July, the federal government of Nigeria wanted to assassinate Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho. And that means his life was now threatened by the federal government of Nigeria. Not just threatened, the federal government also, for no reason, decided to put him on a wanted list. When we have a country full of different drama on a daily basis. But yet, the federal government of Nigeria is not interested in all that. The federal government is more interested in the life of Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Igboho Sha. And we must remember that all the time. That his life has been in danger in the hands of the federal government. His life has become danger just because the federal government believes that he has the power to take him out. But one day until Ọlọ́run ò bá tí mú, ẹ̀dá ọmọ Ádámọ̀ kankan ò lè mú. Lóòótọ́ tí gbogbo wa tí a gbọ́ ìròyìn tó ṣẹlẹ̀, abani nínú jẹ́, abani lọ́kàn jẹ́, á dàbí ìgbà tí ẹ pé ayé fẹ́ sọ̀kalẹ̀. But ayé tó fẹ́ sọ̀kalẹ̀ ni pé Yorùbá nation tí gbogbo wa ń sọ pé a fẹ́, òun nìkan ló lè gbà wá nísìn. Because everybody knows that the country called Nigeria has become danger to the life of millions of Nigerians, and that is why we are all saying that we have had enough of the contraction. This is not the time to blame. This is not the time to point finger. This is the time to tell the whole world that Nigeria is going into the genocide and the genocide that has been taking place for so long. So, kí ló wá ń jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa wá dàbí ìgbà tẹ́ pé in tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ nísìn àwa fẹ́ jẹ́ kí ìrẹ̀wẹ̀sì kó kó sí wa lára. Àsìkò yẹn kọ́ ló yẹ kí ìrẹ̀wẹ̀sì kó sí wa lára. Nígbà tí bàbá Akintoye tí àwọn náà gbọ́, wọ́n dìde ní ọ̀jọ̀gọ́ òru, wọ́n gbé gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ tọmọ Yorùbá láti gbé. Ìgbésẹ̀ wo ni wọ́n fẹ́ gbé nísìn ní wákàtí òun ni kó máa ronú sí. Ìgbésẹ̀ tó bá fẹ́ gbé. This is the time that every single one of us must prepare to understand that we are all in danger. It is not about Chief Sunday Igboho nìkan. You might think his life is the one in danger. Your life, my life is in danger as well. But let's first read that statement and let us remain prayerful. Focus. Chief Sunday Igboho is fine. I can tell you that. 1528. And this was a statement released at about few hours from our father, Professor Banji Akintoye. Igboho, there is a strong possibility that extradition request of Nigerian government may be rejected by the Benin Republic by Professor Banji Akintoye. Says leading lawyers in Benin Republic are now in charge. 2021. A renowned historian and the leader of the umbrella body of Yoruba self-determination groups, Emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye, has confirmed the arrest of the Yoruba freedom fighter Chief Sunday Adeyemo, fondly called Sunday Igboho, in Benin Republic. Akintoye, however, said he, alongside others Yoruba patriots, Sunday Adeyemo, fondly called Igboho, had been arrested at the Cotonou airport. I and the other Yoruba patriots who are immediately available are now working to provide the assistance necessary to ensure that nobody will be able to do him anything unlawful or primitive, and to prevent him from being extradited into Nigeria, which is strongly possible. Fortunately, Benin Republic is reliable, a land of law, where the authorities responsibly obey the law. We have secured the service of a leading and highly respected lawyer whom we can confidently rely on. What the situation now calls for is that the Yoruba nation at home and in diaspora must stand strong, resolve that neither Sunday Igboho nor any other Yoruba person will henceforth be subjected to inhumane and dehumanizing treatment of any kind. We Yoruba nation are, by the grace of God, a very strong nation. We must arise now to show that strength. For a start, we must all see to it now that Sunday Igboho will get his freedom back, so as to be able to move and operate as a free person. We all know he has committed no crime. We know that some people are trying to suppress or even eliminate him only because he stood up to defend his kinsmen, women, and children who are being massively killed and raped in their ancestral homeland, who are having the assets and means of livelihood destroyed, and who are facing cleansing and even genocide without having the benefit of protection by the rules of their country. We know furthermore that for the protection of his people who are being brutalized, he has joined hands with many of his brethren to take the legal appropriate step, namely to seek the intervention of the International Criminal Court. And if the federal government is not looking for you in Nigeria, the Boko Haram are waiting for you. The Fulani herdsmen terrorists are waiting for you. Everything can easily kill you in Nigeria, and part of that is the hospital. So people need to understand, and we will say it categorically again, that Chief Sunday Igboho is not a criminal, and he has never been. And that is why every one of us must all stand up with formidable force. And that starts from tomorrow, when the mega rally takes place in central London. This is not the time that we are going to back down. We will make sure we get his freedom back for him as quickly as possible. We will stand with him shoulder to shoulder, just the same way he has stood with us shoulder to shoulder. We will continue to be with him in prayer. But I can say categorically, he is doing very well. And that is more than enough for every one of us to understand that the pressure, let's keep the pressure down and now focus on the reality. The reality is the federal government of Nigeria wants every single source of Yoruba to become a slave on their land. And that is something we will not allow and we will not tolerate. And that is why somebody like Professor Banji Akintoye have stand firm at the age of 86, saying that the only way out of Nigeria is for us to have our own independent nation. This is not about restructuring. But some of us, situation of things in the country, you have not, because the situation is not how you think about it. I don't have to go into all the details. The legal representative from around the world, just like we have done already, we've taken the federal government to the International Criminal Court just before this incident that took place. We have proven to the International Criminal Court that the federal government is on the lives of every single one of us. But we are not ready to back down. We are not ready to give in. And we are not ready to negotiate because he does not want to negotiate. So his life was put into something to eliminate and terminate. And it over war ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní 1st of July. If you go back and review every details of the incident and the atrocity that led to 12 Yorubas hanging right inside the DSS underground cells, we would understand that it was not just saved by our Creator, but it will also be saved at this particular time. And let us also remember, we are in a kind of a struggle. And in every struggle, so many things will happen to different people and different individuals at different times. Nínú struggle yìí, a máa ti láwọn tó ti kú. Nínú struggle yìí, a ti láwọn tí oríṣiríṣi ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ti ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. But that is not going to give us any back out. And we will stand with Chief Sunday Igboho and his family. And likewise, all his associates. Whatever you have read, whatever you have listened to, your focus should be federal government wants to terminate and assassinate Chief Sunday Igboho. That is all we must remember all the time. The federal government does not want the wish and the will of Nigerians, not to talk of the Yorubas. Nigeria, the 6th largest crude oil producer, but the #1 capital poverty of the world. Take note of that. That means as I speak right now, millions of Nigerians do not have 3 square meals on a daily basis. And their chances to survive within a particular time is very, very slim. Bàbá ń wo ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú Nàìjíríà lójoojúmọ́. Just under 48 hours, the terrorists had the very audacity to take down the Nigerian aircraft. Have you ever thought about that? Millions of people have been killed. Thousands of us cannot return back home. Because there is no house anymore to go back to. All that is what we must continue to remember, that this is what Chief Sunday Igboho stands for. This is what it stands for. So that you and myself can have peace of mind at the time we get out of Nigeria. But a lot of people might not understand that. Àwọn èèyàn púpọ̀ get message yẹn. Wọ́n wò gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tó jẹ́ aláǹtakò. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tí kò fẹ́ràn ìjọba Nàìjíríà. Nígbà tó mọ̀ pé ìjọba Nàìjíríà ó ṣe jàǹbá gẹ́gẹ́ bí tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe bọ̀ láti iye ọdún rẹpẹtẹ. The legal representatives are in charge. We'll be giving more updates when time permits. But all I can say is, it is not as bad as we might want to think about it. Oh yes, it could be very, very painful, but we must remain focused. Every one of us is affected, whether through what has happened or what has been happening in the past. Gbogbo wa pátápátá ló kàn. Gbogbo wa pátápátá ló bá lára lójijì. But òjijì tó bá wa kò ṣe nísìnyí. Nigeria has been torturing us for a very long time. And that is why Baba wa Chief Sunday Igboho Oòṣà sọ pé òun ò ní máa wò kí wọ́n rẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá jẹ. And that is what we must all think of. The news have been heard, but the remaining part now is what role you single-handedly, groups, out, especially with the diaspora. We now have a big task on our hands. If we look at similar situation in the past, where different freedom fighters have also been affected one way or the other, whether ó mà dàbí eré ni, ó mà dàbí àlọ́. 1548, Tuesday, 20th of July, 2021. Let's give a bit more background to the protest happening tomorrow in central London. There will be a massive protest taking place right at number 10 Downing Street tomorrow. Let us make sure we bring ourselves down there. And not just that alone. Let us also remember, at this particular time, oríṣiríṣi lẹ máa gbọ́, different things lẹ máa gbọ́ from different individuals. We will leave that for now. But I can assure everybody that let us just remember that his life was threatened. His life was about to be terminated on the 1st of July. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa rántí pé his life was a target to the federal government and so many individuals, high profile, that thought they could buy him out, that thought they could take him out if they cannot buy him. And since they cannot buy him, the idea was to take him out. And Ọlọ́run tí fún wọn ṣe, Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ ní fún wọn ṣe. Tomorrow, also, if you, individual, wants to do what we call picketing right in front of the German embassy across the world, you don't have to wait for so many people. You might not understand that àwọn tó kò tí ráyè àsìkò tí gbogbo wa máa fàyè lẹ́lẹ́lẹ́ nísìn. Ṣẹlẹ̀ tí ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ bàbá wa Chief Sunday Igboho ní July 1st làwọn kan tí ń jáde ní central London on a daily basis for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, picking a point and passing the message. Ẹ lè rò pé àwọn èèyàn rí wọn níbi tó dúró sí. Àwọn èèyàn rí wọn, wọ́n take note. Even people that you might not expect will take a note of that. Ó lè jẹ́ èèyàn kan láàrin wa. Even in the midst of when his house was attacked, wọ́n ní kí n jáde kí n sọ fún gbogbo wa pé no going back lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation. That was on the 1st of July after his whole house was completely brought down to stand still by the federal government. ó ní kí n sọ fún yín pé ṣèbí ilé lásán ni mọ́tò ni but Yorùbá nation yẹn a sì dúró lé lórí. So àsìkò yìí náà tí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí Yorùbá nation yẹn náà la máa dúró lé lórí. A gbọ́dọ̀ sá sẹ́yìn, a gbọ́dọ̀ bójú pamọ́, a gbọ́dọ̀ sọ pé ìntàgbé dání kò tí tó àfìgbà tá a bá gba Yorùbá nation yẹn. Then gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n rò pé àsìkò láti máa jókòó ọ̀rọ̀ working out so many other things does not mean because I was not on for a couple of days things have gone quiet. I can assure us that we were all and we have all been in this together. Gbogbo alájọ wà nínú ẹ̀. Myself, yourself, and every single one of us from every part of the world. Professor Banji Akintoye is working around the clock. I've spoken to him and the team, and I can assure us that Chief Sunday Igboho is in a good hands. And Lashe Dumari will be happy. He will be speaking to us soon, and he will gain his freedom back because the federal government wants to keep that freedom away from him. And we would not allow the federal government to do so. We will not give them the chance to do so. We will not allow them to lock him from not gaining his freedom. We would make sure that we do everything. The fight for Yoruba freedom has just begun. The fight for Yoruba freedom have just started. The fight to get Yoruba freedom have just increased. And it has shown that this is a government that prefer the Fulani to be more in control than us. And that is why we also must now remember it is not yet over. It is just the beginning. The beginning of what we will all witness. We must not lose focus. Ẹ̀yin màmá wa, ẹ fọkàn yín balẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin bàbá wa, ẹ fọkàn yín balẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin bàbá wa, ẹ fọkàn yín balẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin àǹtí, ẹ̀yin àbúrò, ẹ fọkàn yín balẹ̀. Mùsùlùmí, ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀. Kristẹni, ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀. Àwa oníṣẹ̀ṣe, ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀. Ẹ fọkàn wa balẹ̀ ni mo sọ. Àfi tí kò bá sí Ọlọ́run ọba lókè ní gbogbo ìkíì tí olúkálùkù wa bá ń pè. But tọ́lọ́run ọba bá wà lókè tí a dẹ̀ ń pè tó dẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹ̀yin ṣe ń pè tèmi náà ń pè ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀. Tó confirm ni mo sọ fún yín yẹn ká fọkàn balẹ̀. Ẹ fọkàn wa balẹ̀ báyìí. Ẹ má kó ẹ̀mí sókè. Lóòótọ́ ó bá gbogbo wa lójijì. Lóòótọ́ ẹ jí pẹ̀lú ìbànújẹ́ pé kò ń ṣe bí irú bàbá wa. Àmọ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí n fi yé gbogbo wa pé gbogbo nǹkan kí nǹkan tó bá gbà ní ti àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ òun ni wọ́n ti ń gbé lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Ìgbésẹ̀ yẹn ń lọ lọ́tùn lósì. Bó ṣe ń lọ ní Cotonou ó ti ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ níta náà. Lóòótọ́ kò sẹ́ni tó bá gbọ́ tí kò ní way down. I can assure you, since the incident, work has been ongoing 24/7. And let us remember that we are not backing down. And that was the message from Chief Sunday Igboho. We must not back down, regardless of whatever might be going on now. We must not back down. It might be little, it might be big. We must not back down. We have gone far. We have pushed the mountain that no one ever thought can be touched, which is the federal government. People have said so much. People have doubted us. But we have proved that the government have been so much a criminal for a very long time, pampering every terrorist operating in Nigeria, targeting innocent Nigerians, whether they are freedom fighter, whether they are media, whether they are citizens. Every single Nigerian is already in pain. We have all been in pain for a very long time. But I manage the pain here, hoping that one day that pain will just go away when we wake up. But we came out and said, no, that pain won't go until we all stand together and do the right thing by saying enough is enough. Nigba. When his house was attacked with machineries, those employed to come and kill him, even some of the legal senior advocate of Nigeria came out and said it point blank that it was unconstitutional. People that you might never thought would come out, even said the federal government should apologize to Sunday Igboho. We are all Sunday Igboho. Every single one of us are Sunday Igboho. And when the time comes, we will prove to the world that we are all Sunday Igboho. Nibikibi Tabawa, we are all Sunday Igboho, and we are not going to back down. So I'm giving you reassurance as against all the news that you must have been listening to since late last night. I followed all the details. I should have been out earlier than this, but I do apologize for not coming out quickly. There were so many things that we were putting in place. But I can assure us that I, myself, just like so many of you, got the news. But we must all buckle up. Buckle up. This is a test of time. It is a test of time for every single one of us. It's not about sharing the news anymore now. The news is already out. But the solution from different angle is what we should think of now. The solution can come from every one of us. Don't expect just we, the media, or I, myself, as the spokesman, to bring out the solution. Don't expect Professor Banja Kitoye alone to bring the solution. This is the time for us all to come out as the Yoruba that are intelligent and intellectual. We are not going to back down regardless of everything that has taken place. Some people say, Kotan, no. It has just started. It has just started. We will continue to tell the world the atrocity committed by federal government on every innocent Nigerians and moreover the Yorubas living there as well. Like I said, it is not yet over. Ọlọ́run lè ṣe nǹkan kó má fa ìyọ̀pẹ̀ sílẹ̀. A fi ìyọ̀pẹ̀ yẹn sílẹ̀ ni. Just the same way, some of us waking up on the 1st of July and we're expecting the bad news, but you never got that bad news. Just the same way you thought this is a bad news, it is just not the bad news that you wanted to hear. Some of you want that bad news, but you will never, by the Creator that created him, which I know is not. I saw it in his face all the time. I saw it in his voice. I saw it in his heart that he loves the Yoruba more than anything else. He is very comfortable. He is not just an ordinary individual. He has all the means to have dropped the agitation. Some call it the movement. But he does not want to. So why should we all think that the struggle would definitely hold us back? This is not the time. Sign the petition. This is the time that you must now take that petition to every single part of the world so that we can get our freedom as quickly as possible. Some are doubting it, thinking that this will be another 10 years before we come out of Nigeria. That's if Nigeria exists before 2023. Ọlọ́run ló ní àsìkò. Àwa kọ́ la lásìkò lóòótọ́, but àwa ń fi yé yín pé election, I will say it again, is not going to hold in Nigeria in 2023. Ẹ lọ kọ sílẹ̀ wà láìtàláì símọ́ bí láì làzíláhùwà. Ẹ lọ kọ sílẹ̀ pé mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ ní mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ pé Koiki ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ pé election. Ẹ kọ sínú pépà lọ́la pé Koiki tún sọ lórí program pé election ò ní hold. I will leave that for another conversation. We are brutal. We are hungry. But Chief says, this is not the time. We will go through the peaceful way. That is what he has continued to say. That is why every rally, Tabajade, he has said it continuously, that no one must attack the security. And that we have hold on to. And we continue to do so. If the federal government thinks that they are fighting one person, tell the federal government of Nigeria they are fighting multiple forces. It is not just Chief Sunday Igboho that is fighting. They are fighting Olayomi Koiki as well. They are fighting millions of Yoruba that want freedom. I have said it and I'll say it again. But I will leave that out of this conversation for now. Tell all the Yoruba politicians thinking, and to any petition here, please help us to post it now onto the platform. Tell all the politicians we are tired of their crap and we will not forgive them. We are still being honest with them now and we will continue to be. Gbogbo ta ṣe ń bá wọn ṣe nísìn, à ń bá wọn ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìfẹ́ tí Yorùbá ta ṣe nísìn wọn ni. But there will be a time ojú máa dí. Tójú bá dẹ̀ ti dí, so many things will occur. Even Russia or USSR, if I want to say that way, that came into a breakout, disintegration in 1991, December 26th. Go back and look at the history. We are doing everything possibly best to make sure that we get out of Nigeria without a bloodshed. But let us remember, Nigeria has killed many people. So blood has already been shed. Innocent. Not every one of us will make it down to Nigeria like myself. So many people are scared. And just like I always say, Nigeria will kill you in a space of seconds. I was reading something some few hours or few days ago. It was an MC somewhere in Ikeja. Heart attack. You know what must have happened? She heart attack here. I'm asking question. It was something that was developing, but he thought he had the good sit down on all the social media, deceiving ourselves as if all is well and gloom in that shit hole country you call Nigeria, that has now put the life of Chief Sunday Igboho at risk by trying to eliminate him on the 1st of July. But Ọlọ́run fún wọn ṣe. The man died. The one of the MC I was talking about. I'm sure some of you almost have read it. He died before they got to the hospital. Not that the family didn't have the money. Not that the man does not have the money in his account. But Nigeria was not prepared to save that life. So think about that. Think about that. Yes, Czech, Slovakia, disintegrated. Nigeria is not as strong as USSR, but that country was able to disintegrate. So those thinking that it will be 2023, we wait and see till then. Our Kaje diaspora, this is a time to say one day in a week, Mama Fayesile, not just because of Chief Sunday Igboho, but Toba Jetorie, Opo Ujubelo. He has sacrificed for us. And we must also now sacrifice for him. You are not in Nigeria. You will not be beaten by the police in Europe. You will not be tear gassed by the police in Europe. You will not be rough-handled by the police in Europe. So you can do that civilized protest inside your country, wherever you are. Once again, adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá wa fi ẹ̀mí bá ètò yẹn lọ. Bá ti ṣe gbọ́, a ti gbọ́, but solution òun ni ká wá báyìí. Forget about people that are not interested in freedom. Not everybody knows the meaning of freedom. Kò ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn ní freedom ló mọ understand it. And although they understand freedom, they've hold the rest of those that do not understand freedom like that. So everybody is breathing in that contraction called Nigeria like that. Lójoojúmọ́, they are breathing like that. That's why they can wake up one day and they will die and they will say it's witchcraft. Ajele Elupa. But what they cannot understand is that pain of Nigeria has built inside every one of us for years. And that is what is killing millions of Nigerians on a daily basis. And like I said, don't assume, don't think that Chief Sunday Igboho was the only one in danger. Gbogbo Akarapata have always been in danger ever since we came out of that contraction shit old country you call Nigeria. But people deceive each other. People lie to each other. People pray and pray hoping that will solve the problem. That is too late now. Our prayer now is we will leave that shit old country called Nigeria. We will leave, according to so many of you, peacefully. But I know it's going to be difficult living peaceful. And on that note, I say, have a very good afternoon, wherever you are. Like I said, don't stress yourself. listen to different things people are saying in regard to what has happened. What has happened has happened. Solution is already on it. I can tell you categorically, even before anyone smelled anything, solution has already been on top of it. And on that note, don't let anyone give you more hypertension on this particular issue. This issue is well being taken care of by brilliant people across the globe. So, any other thing apart from that, don't stress out. I'll come back, maybe later on, maybe later in the night, and I'll allow you to also call in. Thank you very much, Citizen AY. I can spot you there, AY, and the rest of all the medias that are working tirelessly. On the case of those with the DSS, I can assure us that work is ongoing on them as well. We are hoping to get updates. Thank you very much, the backend team. The NINAS form is there. Let us have it at the back of our mind that Otisheshe, regardless of whatever has happened since the time you got the news, not us, since you got the news, we will remain absolute focus. And like I said, Baba Chief Sunday Igboho will always say, we must not back down, and we are not going to back down. Thank you very much, everyone that have joined. My name is Olami Koiki Media, spokesman, Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Igboho. Iṣẹ́ wa forílẹ̀-èdè wa, kàgbéga, kàgbéga, kàgbéga fàlẹ́rí. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé láti bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́. Ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá.